I'd like to call the special meeting of the Stratford Town Council of April 9th, 2015 to order at 7:38 p.m. It's not on the agenda, but I would request that everyone rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, first item on the agenda after call to order is the proposed sale. This is the resolution for authorizing the sale of real property interests and assets owned by the town of Stratford used in connection with the Stratford WPCA to Greater New Haven WPCA. Anybody like to make a motion?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Mr. Gavin.
make a
Mr. Forrest.
motion that we approve the resolution.
Is there a motion to approve? Is there a second? Please. Is there a second? Second. Second by Mr. Connor. Any discussion on the motion? Any discussion on the motion?
All right. Yes, thank you.
Ms. Phillips.
Thank you. Yes, this is probably the only comments that I'm going to make tonight, as that the rest of it, the night will move pretty quickly. I don't think we're going to be here very long. I want to, first of all, thank the public and the people who came out tonight, and especially the people who took the time to do the research, forwarding information and their opinions to me and the rest of the council members. I thank you very much. It demonstrates a public that is engaged and involved, and more important, very intelligent. Let me say first, and I know there's a lot of thoughts about regionalization and where I stand and where I haven't stand, okay? I'm a business person as well as a resident. I have family. Regionalization as a concept, just as a concept, is not a bad concept. We regionalize our bus systems, all right? There are other areas that we regionalize. It's not always a bad thing, okay? However, this particular deal, the way it's structured, is not a good deal. It's a bad deal, in my opinion, for Stratford, okay? Let me finish. Let me finish. There are things that I would have done differently. I don't have the opportunity to do so. I don't believe we're getting the value of the property and the town's investment in the property that we have. $11 million is what we're getting. Hamden received $10 million to join the Greater New Haven Water Pollution Group, and they only had 2 pump stations that they sold. We're getting 11. I would have pushed for 3 seats on the board. We're only getting 2. New Haven has 4. Okay? You know, the mayor says that the ratepayer will save money. Okay. How do we do that? Here's how I think it happens. I looked at the budget, and we're going to talk about it next week. Sort of like how the stores do it. You show a really high number, high price, and then you put it on sale, and you said, you've made a savings. You saved $35. That's not what I want to do. I want to get in there with my pen and my pencil, and I want to do it right. I want to do everything I can to save that station and make it profitable for us, to make it work for us. We need to fix it, we fix it. All right? But we can keep this. I believe, and I've told the mayor's office, that I believe that we can run this facility and make it work just as well as New Haven. I really do. Better, as some people say. The sewer fees, one way or the other, your sewer fees are going up. You're going to open up that envelope, and they're going up. The only difference is the mayor is saying to us, well, if we do it ourselves, it'll go up higher. They're going to keep it to go up a little bit. It's going up. And after this, we're going to be off the hook. No councilman, no mayor. We're not going to be responsible for this. You won't be able to come to us and complain. That's it. You don't like your fees, you don't like this, that's it. There isn't any option for you. I happen to enjoy being responsible to the public. I hear your complaints, I do my homework, I do my work, okay? I only go to this kind of stats. This is the last course for me. It's not my first course, this is the last thing I would have done. I've spent the last 5 years questioning why our taxes have gone up so fast and so high. I've tried to do my job to the best of my abilities. Tonight, I am not going to win this one. I know that. But I have known that I have, in my heart, done everything I can to support the people of this town. I have a serious problem with this process. We finally hear from the mayor's office on Monday, and 3 days later, we have a rushed vote. I've gotten calls from the Democrats, Republicans, unaffiliates, and many who don't even vote. But who cares? I disagree with calling the people who have a difference of an opinion, and this is not reflective of my council members, all right? I respect my council members tremendously. But there are others out there who have made statements that this is just a bunch of political, negative people who just don't want to see anything good happen. I disagree. I disagree. I think, like me, we're scared, we're worried, but more important, they're afraid. And this is what my answer is. I think you are afraid and you are sure that we have stopped listening to you. That's what it is. Some employees may lose their jobs at the end of the day. I care about them. I care about those families. And it was talking to them that really inspired me to get this deeply involved, because that's their livelihood. These are people that we depend on, and I think we need to treat them with every bit of respect and work as hard for them as they work for us. I believe in the employees of this town. They believe in us. They trust us. This is not a business deal that I would take. It's not a deal in my conscience that I can accept. We won't be able, and I know this is going to be disappointed, the town attorney on my request did an analysis of whether or not a referendum is available on these sales. According to a state statute, I'm sure he'll talk about it later, it doesn't appear that there is. I know. It's state statute. I am not throwing anybody under the bus. But I believe that this is the kind of sale that the people of Stratford should vote on. I've said this over and over again. Okay. Thank you. All right. Thank you. We got to move on. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Tonight, I ask for your courtesy and your respect for this body. We all know what's going to happen. I simply ask, we are still volunteers. We were elected. May not be the way we wanted. I ask for your respect and your civility. I pray, and I hope you all do, that regardless of this decision, it will work out fine. We don't know. I know we can't fix this like we did the cell tower, but I hope it won't be that bad. So please, as we move forward tonight, I appreciate it if you can maintain the same civility and courtesy that you have always extended me. Thank you.
Is there any other discussion on the motion? Mr. Hoydick.
Yes, I just want to say that I thought the public forum the other night was very informative. I've been on the fence on this. I haven't made up my mind. The discussion the other night kind of was swaying me a little bit, but I still need some more time. I thought this, having a meeting tonight just was way too soon. There's other things I wanted to find out about this. Putting this off to the 20th or thereabouts, I figure would have gave me enough time. I disagree with this, having a meeting tonight. I would feel more comfortable if we had it in the future, but saying that,
Mr. Chairman,
I'm sorry. Mr. Forster.
I appreciate the council members' statements. I've looked over the agreement and looked at the greater New Haven region from a historical standpoint for the decade that it's operated, and in all of the municipalities involved. And none of them have anything but good things to say about the service that's provided. I've spoken to residents of each community, people that I know personally, and they have said that the transition was seamless, and that as far as they're concerned, they think in the long run, their rates were reduced as a result of the regionalization. When you factor in at the end, the result of the proposal, the town eliminates debt, transfers risk, the services will be with the same pipes to the same physical plant with someone else operating the switch. When you flush the toilet, the water will go away. It will be treated in the same clean manner that it's treated today. If the town of Stratford continues to manage it, I truly believe the rates will be higher than if the New Haven region was to take over the process. I personally believe that the rates will be less in the long run with this proposal. So that's why I will be supporting it this evening.
Thank you. Mr. Santee?
Yeah, been on the council 5 years now, and the rates have gone up almost $200. And, looking at, my district in particular, pipes are 100 years old. And, councils in the past and in the future don't have the wherewithal to raise the rates astronomically as they're predicted to go up near $700 in the next 10 years. I was on the fence, and I did research, I did the presentation, saw that, talked to people, and it doesn't seem like a bad idea, even though people are going to disagree with it. Maybe is there room for improvement? Perhaps, but based on what I see, it doesn't seem the worst deal in the world. It does keep the rates, based on the paper there, at a stable rate over the next 5 years, as opposed to we owning it. And the biggest selling point is the infrastructure improvements over the next 5 years for $10 million, especially districts like mine, Councilman Dempsey, Stephanie's, pipes over 100 years old. It's something that we have to start thinking about. And this town, we can't do it anymore unless we're going to bond all that kind of money. Just the costs are going to get outrageously high.
Is there any other discussion on the motion? Any other discussion on the motion? I'd just like to say that this is my 10th year sitting on a WPCA over the course of about 25 years. And it's always been very clear that the WPCA members really don't know much about how to run a sewage treatment plant. You learn under fire, and over the years I've recognized a number of problems with the process that we have in Stratford, where the decision makers are political animals and bow to political or constituent, immediate concerns, and not long-range don't have a long-range picture. I mean, little examples like, I only found out recently that for the longest time, one major hotel in Stratford wasn't being assessed for sewer uses. Why? Because the organization running it didn't understand that needed to be looked into. There was also a large supermarket that wasn't hooked up for years. Now, these are things that hurt our system because the system's not run by, at least at the commission level, by experts. I've talked to a number of experts over the last couple of years about, well, almost 3 years now, because in a number of experts that are been involved in the business 35, 40 years running these plants. And in talking over and over, I became more and more convinced that regionalization was the way to go. And it's the way to go in the future for Connecticut. Connecticut has an archaic municipal system that costs us lots of money. The reason our taxes are so high is we don't have a county form of government. We don't have regional forms of government. And this is one start. And I know that in the next 15 to 20 years, there's going to be a huge movement to regionalization in all areas. An example are the local bus companies that are regional bus companies. And you do see in some areas regional school systems. It's the way of the future. I believe, based upon my experience sitting on the WPCA for a lot of years, over the course of a bunch of years, that the rates are going to be served better, we're going to have lower rates, and the system's going to function as well, if not better, in the future. I'm convinced of it. So that's why I'll be voting yes. So that said, any other discussion? Hearing none. So this is just this is not a roll call vote. So all those in favor of the resolution to convey the assets, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Opposed.
Okay. Chair, please, chair votes yes, and the motion carries 7-2. Next item on the agenda for this special town council meeting is an ordinance, the concurrent ordinance to be adopted by the town of Stratford concerning regionalization of the Stratford Water WPCA with the Greater New Haven WPCA pursuant to the asset purchase agreement. And it's resolved that this first, what we're looking for is motion, the first reading of the ordinance that's attached and has been posted is hereby dispensed with. The copies have previously been furnished, and that this matter be referred to the ordinance committee. So the chair's looking for a motion to refer the ordinance that is the concurrent ordinance as to the conveyance of the assets to the ordinance committee.
Mr. Chairman, so moved.
A motion by Mr. Forrester. Is there a second? Seconded by Mr. Dempsey. Any discussion on the motion to refer the ordinance to the ordinance committee? All right. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Opposed.
2 opposed. Chair votes yes. Motion carries 7-2. And, no, the last item is adjournment. Chair's looking for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Santee, seconded by Mr. Connor. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Chair votes yes. Motion carries 9-0. Of April 9th, 2015, the special meeting of the WPCA of April 9th, 2015 at 7:56 p.m. And we've already said the pledge. We don't have to do that again. So after the call to order, first item on the agenda is the proposed sale of assets of the Stratford WPCA to the Greater New Haven WPCA Authority. Mr. Bishop, this is approving, the point of this is to approve the resolution
Correct.
from
Yes.
the that we've just approved at the town council level, but as a WPCA.
Essentially, yes, there are a couple of things that are different because you're conveying assets, whereas in the town side, you're conveying land and assets.
Yep.
And you're also approving the agreement in both cases. The two items, item 1A and 1B, are combined in one resolution.
Well, we're going to take 1A first.
No, they're both combined into one resolution.
Oh, I see. Oh, I see. Yeah, that's how you did it. Okay. Okay. All right, so we're going to be voting, Chair's looking for a motion to approve the resolution for the proposed sale of assets of the Stratford WPCA to the Greater New Haven WPCA and the asset purchase agreement related to the sale of the Stratford WPCA assets to the Greater New Haven WPCA pursuant to the purchase agreement. Chair's looking for a motion. Is that a motion by Mr. Santee to approve the resolution? Seconded by Mr. Connor. Any discussion on the motion to approve the resolution? This discussion is as the Stratford WPCA. Any discussion on the motion? Okay, hearing no discussion on the motion, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Opposed. Chair votes yes, motion carries 7-2. And to the end of the agenda, Chair's looking for a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Connor, seconded by Mr. Forrester. All those in favor of adjournment, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Chair votes yes. Motion carries 9-0. Meeting adjourned Meeting adjourned at 7:58. The Ordinance Committee meeting of this is yours. Ordinance Committee. Sorry.
Remember those 10, 15 years?
Good evening. I'd like to call the Ordinance Committee of the Stratford Town Council to order for April 9th, 2015 at 8:02 p.m. My name is Ken Poisson, 6th District Councilman and Chairman of the Ordinance Committee. The only item on the agenda tonight is the concurrent ordinance to be adopted by the Town of Stratford in furtherance of the regionalization of the Stratford WPCA operations with the Greater New Haven WPCA. Chair is looking for a motion to refer this to the Town Council.
Mr. Chairman, motion to refer with a favorable recommendation?
Moved by Mr. Forrester, seconded by Mr. Connor. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Opposed.
Chair votes yes. Motion carries 8-1. The last item on the agenda is adjournment. Looking for a motion to adjourn.
To adjourn.
By Mr. Kubik, second by Mr. Santee. Adjourned at 8:03 p.m.
Okay, we're going to call to order the meeting, special council meeting of April 9th, second special council meeting of April 9th, 2015, to order at 8:04 p.m. And the first and only item after the call to order is the passing of the concurrent ordinance to be adopted by the Town of Stratford in furtherance of the regionalization of the Stratford WPCA operations with the Greater New Haven WPCA operations pursuant to the asset purchase agreement related to the sale of the Stratford WPCA assets and the Town of Stratford assets used in connection with the Stratford WPCA to Greater New Haven WPCA by and among Greater New Haven WPCA as buyer, and each of the Town of Stratford and the Stratford WPCA as sellers. And the resolution, the ordinance is attached, has been distributed and posted. So the chair is looking for a motion to approve the ordinance. Motion to approve the ordinance.
So move.
Motion by Mr. Forrester, second by Mr. Dempsey. Any discussion on the motion to approve the ordinance? Any discussion? Okay, now this is a roll call vote. It is the passage of an ordinance. And we'll start with the first district, Mr. Massey.
Yes.
Ms. Phillips.
No.
Mr. Santee. Mr. Dempsey.
Yes.
Mr. Poisson.
Yes.
Mr. Forrester.
Yes.
Mr. Connor.
Yes.
Mr. Hoydick.
No.
And the chair votes yes. The motion passes 7-2. The ordinance is approved. It'll be effective in 30 days, I believe, from passage.
No.
The last item on the agenda is adjournment. Chair is looking for a motion to adjourn. Oh, I'm sorry.
You want to check that 30 days?
30 days from passage.
Actually, the way it's in the thing, it's going to pass effective when the closing occurs no earlier than 30 days from now, because you don't want to be on the concurrent ordinance and wipe out your own ordinances before you've actually done the closing.
Okay, well, that's all right. Is there, that's the last item on the agenda. Is there a motion to adjourn? Motion by
moved.
Mr. Santee, seconded by Mr. Connor. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Chair votes yes. Motion carries 9-0. Meeting adjourned at 8:06 p.m.